Human beings have long searched for the meaning of life and the nature of their own existence. Many people spend their lives believing that they are nothing more than just physical bodies confined by flesh, bone, and mind. They see themselves as vulnerable, limited creatures, subject to the unpredictable swings of fate, emotions, and external forces beyond their control. In this worldview, they often feel like small, insignificant parts of a vast and indifferent universe. But ancient yogic philosophy offers a radically different perspective, one that invites individuals to recognize their true nature as infinite, peaceful, conscious, and blissful beings. At the heart of yoga is the idea that the true self is inextricably linked to the universal self. Just as a spark is part of the fire or a ray of sunlight is inseparable from the sun. By practicing yoga, individuals can peel back the layers of illusion and rediscover the radiant, unchanging core that has always been there. Through this path, people complain that yogic sages or rishis taught centuries ago Ananda or bliss is the very essence of one's being, the substratum of existence, and everyone's birthright. Centuries ago, the Rishis withdrew from the noise of ordinary life, retreating into the forests of ancient India. Their purpose was not merely to escape the world, but to dive into its deepest mysteries. They asked the fundamental questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What is the nature of reality? These spiritual explorers sought answers that went beyond the surface of existence. Their intense meditation and reflection gave rise to profound insights, which were eventually distilled into the Sanskrit phrase Tat Twam Asi, you are that. But what does that mean? According to yogic wisdom, that refers to Sat, eternal truth, Chit, boundless consciousness, and Ananda, unyielding bliss. Together, these qualities define the ultimate reality, Brahman. This is not some distant abstract principle, but the very essence of the individual's true self. Recognizing this is not merely an intellectual exercise, it is an awakening to one's boundless potential, an understanding of the deep connection between the individual soul and the universal consciousness. Yoga offers more than physical postures or breathing techniques. It is a transformative practice that enables people to glimpse their timeless essence. It leads practitioners beyond the limits of the physical body and the restless mind, towards a luminous state of unity, truth, and joy. It offers a path to rediscover the sacred, authentic self and live fully as an embodiment of the divine. To grasp this idea more clearly, one might imagine a wave on the surface of the ocean. While the wave appears distinct, it is always part of the ocean. It cannot be separated from the vast body of water that gives it form. Similarly, the spark from a fire may seem individual, yet it carries the same heat, energy, and essence as the great fire from which it arises. The yogic insight expressed in Tat Twam Asi reminds individuals that they are not isolated entities, but are intimately connected to the totality of existence. For those on the path of yoga, this realization has profound consequences. It fosters a sense of unity with all living beings and the entire cosmos. It dissolves the false boundaries of separation and invites a deep recognition that the true nature of all is bliss. This is not just a lofty spiritual ideal or vague speculation. Through dedicated practice, yogis become scientists of the self, discovering the multi-layered wonder of their own being. The journey towards this rediscovery can take many forms, but it always points back to the core teaching. Joy is not something to be sought outside, it is already within. Mansukh Patel, a contemporary yoga teacher, captures this beautifully when he declares, "Ananda is your birthright, claim it." The practice of yoga, rooted in ancient wisdom, offers the tools to peel back the veils of distraction and delusion that obscure this inner light. It invites practitioners to return to the true self, a self that shines with peace, wisdom, love, and connection to the infinite consciousness that unites all beings. This transformative potential can be seen vividly through the experiences of modern students of yoga philosophy. For example, one devoted student began her deep dive into yoga by enrolling in the International Yogalum Correspondence course, an 18-month program promising not only instruction in physical techniques, but also a thorough exploration of yoga's philosophical underpinnings. Each month, as she eagerly awaited the arrival of the new module, she found herself increasingly drawn to the sections on philosophy. There was something about these teachings, mindfulness, interconnectedness, the pursuit of inner peace, that spoke directly to her soul. She described the excitement of receiving each module, eagerly flipping through to the philosophy sections and devouring the wisdom they contained. These teachings were not dry academic concepts, they were lifelines. They provided a framework for understanding herself and the world in a deeper, more meaningful way. As she studied, often in the quiet of her room, a shift began to take place. Principles such as non-attachment, compassion, and inner harmony were no longer just ideas on paper. They began to weave themselves into the fabric of her daily life. She found herself approaching challenges with greater calm, responding to others with empathy, and cultivating an inner sense of peace even in the midst of turmoil. The course ended after 18 months, but its impact continued. For this student, it had not simply been a class, it was a transformative journey. It had opened her eyes to a new way of being, offering a pathway back to her most authentic self. Interestingly, the ancient insights of the Rishis are not just spiritual speculations, they also align remarkably with discoveries in modern science. The ancient yogis understood through deep meditative states that reality is not as solid or permanent as it appears. They introduced the concept of Maya, the cosmic illusion that makes the ever-changing world seem stable and lasting. They spoke of two aspects of reality: prakriti, the mutable material world, and puradosha, the unchanging spiritual consciousness. Depending on one's interpretation, puradosha refers either to the individual soul, atma, or to the universal consciousness itself. What is striking is that, without microscopes, telescopes, or particle accelerators, the Rishis arrived at insights that resonate with modern physics and biology. Today, scientists tell us that the human body, which appears so solid, is actually composed of mostly empty space. The body contains over 37 trillion cells, each made up of about 100 trillion atoms. If one were to scale up an atom to the size of a stadium, its dense nucleus would be no larger than a marble at the center, while the rest would be vast, empty space with electrons whirling through it. The ancient sages called this vastness akasha, or ether. Even the sensation of touch, which feels so convincingly real, is ultimately an illusion. When a person touches an object, what is actually happening is not solid matter meeting solid matter. Rather, electromagnetic forces are at play. Electrons repel one another, and it is this interaction that the nervous system interprets as touch. Modern science, with its sophisticated instruments and equations, has arrived at conclusions that parallel the intuitive wisdom of the yogic tradition. Furthermore, the Rishis recognized that the essence of all phenomena is energy, what they called prana. Prana is the vital force that animates all living things, fuels all movement, and generates heat, light, and radiation. Without this energy, life and existence as we know them would be impossible. Modern physics acknowledges a similar truth. At the most fundamental level, matter and energy are interchangeable, and the universe is a dance of dynamic forces. The convergence of ancient yogic insight and modern scientific discovery offers a fascinating lens through which to view reality. It suggests that, despite the vast distances in time and culture, human beings have always been seekers, striving to understand the nature of their existence and their place in the cosmos. Yoga, in this sense, is more than a set of exercises or a wellness trend. It is a profound spiritual science, a roadmap that guides individuals back to the radiant bliss at the core of their being. It teaches that beneath the surface of ordinary experience lies an infinite wellspring of peace, consciousness, and joy, a truth that has been known to the sages for millennia, and that modern seekers can still discover today. Through dedicated practice, study, and reflection, anyone can begin this journey. Yoga offers not only techniques for the body and mind, but also timeless wisdom that can transform one's life from the inside out. It is an invitation to return to one's true nature, to live as an embodiment of the sacred, and to claim the birthright of Ananda, radiant bliss. For readers eager to explore these profound ideas further, Radiant Bliss by Sue Bushell offers an inspiring and accessible guide. This luminous book skillfully weaves ancient yogic wisdom with practical insights for today's fast-paced world, making it a perfect companion for both beginners and seasoned practitioners. Through clear explanations, personal stories, and step-by-step practices, Radiant Bliss helps readers uncover the deeper philosophical and spiritual dimensions of yoga, far beyond mere physical existence. Bushell demystifies esoteric concepts, revealing how yoga's timeless principles can transform modern life, reduce stress, strengthen the body, sharpen focus, and cultivate inner peace. More than just a manual, Radiant Bliss is a heartfelt invitation to awaken the radiant joy within and embark on a journey of radical self-discovery and wholeness. Let this luminous guide illuminate your path to boundless bliss and help you manifest your highest potential. It's available from Mantra Books. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe and follow for future content, and we will see you next time.